All right, Steph, thank you so much. And the roadways looking so much better than they did just in the last hour. First up, a major crash on the DVP early this morning. It involved multiple motorcycles and a woman, her life taken in this crash. Now, we're going to take you to a live look at the scene, Southdown DVP, which has just reopened near Don Mills. Now, police say the woman believed to be in her late 30s to early 40s, another man suffering life-threatening injuries, and a third victim, also a male, rushed to a trauma center with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Now, police say witnesses reported seeing up to 5 motorcycles speeding, weaving in and out of traffic. It is unclear if the female victim was a driver or passenger, but investigators are working to identify the woman and next of kin. Now, the other crash, also, this site has just reopened as well. Previously, you're looking at the 401 westbound collectors at Dufferin. And Steph mentioned here, this area just reopened. It happened near a construction site around 1 this morning. Crews say a man was rushed to a trauma center with critical injuries, extricated from his vehicle. We do not have an update yet on his condition. But again, you can see both the 401 and the DVP now wide open. All right, do I have to deliver this news? You already know. Leafs Nation once again facing the reality of a postseason fallout. Sorry. All right, the Canadians fighting back, taking the Leafs 3-1 in Game 7 at Scotiabank Arena. Carey Price making 30 saves. The team now facing some uncomfortable questions after yet another year of postseason disappointment.
We're obviously devastated, disappointed, expected better of ourselves. Felt we were capable of a lot more, obviously not just tonight, but through the whole series.
We realized that, we let an opportunity slip, and that's, not acceptable, by our standards, and it makes the loss a lot worse.
The Habs were trailing 3-1 in the series before adding 3 back-to-back victories, 2 in OT, but there was a glimmer of hope at last night's game. Look, in the stands, 550 fully vaccinated frontline workers in attendance at Scotiabank Arena, a small victory during this pandemic.
It was tough because we lost, but it was great. The atmosphere was great. It was great being here with all the other healthcare workers. It's been a tough year for us.
Oh, I was pumped. It's like a dream come true. It's been a crazy year and a half, 2 years, and just to be out and with the boys in blue has been a dream.
It felt like normal again today, a little bit more normal, being somewhere out in public cheering for the Leafs. I mean, it's too bad we had the outcome we did, but it felt great to be out.
Okay, so Montreal moving on to the next round, taking on the Jets tomorrow evening. And we'll have more with Sid coming up in just a bit. As Canada mourning the loss of 215 Indigenous children at a former residential school site, many say there are thousands of innocent victims yet to be discovered.
We have a survivors committee. We work with survivors every day. Every single one of them has a story about unknown grave sites, children that had been buried.
A 2015 Truth and Reconciliation Commission made 6 recommendations to the federal government to help find thousands of victims likely buried in hidden grave sites. Ottawa yet to implement any of the suggestions, but there are calls for a federally funded search of all former residential school sites.
There will be more that we will do. We have committed as a government to be there for reconciliation, but also to be there for truth.
There are also calls for a national day of mourning for the lost children of residential schools. The Indian Residential School Survivor Society has set up support lines that people who have been affected by this devastating news can call. The number you'll see at the bottom of your screen here, 1-800-721-0066. And let's take you now to a live look at Queen's Park Station, subway station at 2:15 this afternoon. All TTC vehicles will be stopping for 2 minutes of silence to honor the memory of the 215 Indigenous children. All right, let's turn to COVID-19 now. New rules will soon be implemented across all Ontario long-term care homes starting July the 1st. New vaccination policies taking effect, encouraging all staff to roll up their sleeves, get vaccinated. 3 new options will be provided. Staff can show proof of vaccination or proof of a valid medical exemption. If staff cannot present either, they will be required to take an educational course about the benefits and the risks of not being vaccinated. Ontario is the first province in the country to implement a COVID-19 vaccine policy. Now, this next story is one that a lot of people will be paying attention to. Canada could soon update its guidelines on mixing and matching vaccines. New reports say that NACI is expected to greenlight mixing doses of AstraZeneca, Pfizer, or Moderna. So it means those who got a first AstraZeneca dose could follow it up with either mRNA vaccines. Now, what does this all mean? We're going to break it down coming up at 7 o'clock with an infectious diseases expert. She'll talk about this development. She will also be joining us at 6:45 for You Sound Off. So make sure you can send in your questions and comments via email or Twitter. We're going to give you all those details coming up in just a bit because I know there are many questions. All right, 6:11 is your time right now still to come. If it wasn't tough already, it's about to become even more difficult to buy real estate. Stress tests for mortgages are going up. We're going to talk to Mike Eppel. He is next.